Welcome, everybody, to the Turffontein race meeting on Saturday, Christmas weekend. Merry Christmas, everybody, to you and all of your families from the Weighted to Win team. We trust you'll have a blessed weekend. Let's get into the first, where number 2, Quartet, is top of the boards at 17 to 10. Going over the further now, Darren looks to win.
Definitely. This is my best bet on the card. I was quite surprised to see him trading at 22 to 10 in the betting. I see he has shortened. He's a bit sluggish out the gates and he takes a long time to unwind. And Mike de Kock's obviously thought this is an out and out stayer. Let's put him straight up from 1600 to 2400 meters, and he could prove way too good for this field. So I'm going in quite strongly with this horse.
Okay, good enough for you, Daryl, on your side?
Clyde, I'm making the horse to beat. He just needs to confirm that he does get the trip of 2400, whereas Green back currency has placed over this distance in the past. So one thing's for certain, he does stay. Whereas Quartet is Dam 1/2200, Badger Creek. And his style of running suggests that he should get the trip, but he still needs to confirm that and do it on the racetrack itself. If he does, I'll make him very hard to beat, ahead of Greenback Currency. And then obviously the only other runner in the race is Main Mission. That was a fair comeback effort behind Billy Spellbound. He was staying on stoutly. His Dam also stayed a mile and a half. He should strip fitter. And we saw Billy Spellbound run third in his handicap debut. So in order 2, 3, and 4 for me.
Okay, 2, 3, and 4. Well, let's get to Darren. Let's see what is the play race 1. We'll put it up for you guys. You can have a look what the plan is. This is our intention to open our Christmas card on Saturday, the first race. And Darren Burrows, who told us yesterday that we must take that double in the Western Cape, and they both landed and won. So well done there. They're in form. Quartet looks hard to beat. Second race, let's get bipods going now, guys. And this is a Pinnacle stakes over 1160 meters. So we'll watch the market in terms of a few things, and one of the factors being your best weighted, etc. Let's talk to the boys about it. Where Bon Vivant is back in action, trades at 5 to 2 favourite. Number 1, Sweet Pepper, on Friday morning was at 3 to 1. Number 3, Maharani, 3 to 1. And number 6, Moon Shining, through 5 to 1. Appears to be quite a competitive race, I thought, Darren.
Clyde, it is competitive. I'm hoping that Sweet Pepper can improve now. She's had the 2 comeback runs. She's a grade 1 winner, and she's very capable. So she is 2 kilos better off with Alula Star on that last run. So Sweet Pepper, Alula Star's got to go into the equation. Moon Shining Through is not out of it. Maharani returning after a break, and Bon Vivant. So 5 horses have chances.
Yeah, it looks that way. Daryl, no shortage of ability on this page.
Absolutely, Clyde. I've actually got quite a strong pick in what appears to be an open event in number 1, Sweet Pepper. Now, I had my doubts after a Golden Slipper run when she ran unplaced and unsighted, in fact. And she was put away for 4 months, and I thought to myself, has this filly actually trained on? And I was very encouraged with her comeback effort beyond Moon Shining Through. Then last time out, if you recall, on Summer Cup Day, Sean Terry's horses all ran flat on that occasion. Added to the fact that this filly found a lot of trouble in running. So you can just put a line through that effort. I think she's going to bounce back to her best and put a very competitive field to bed over here. So for me, a banker in the bipot, number 1, Sweet Pepper.
Okay, interesting. So forward run after that Magnolia run from Sweet Pepper on Saturday afternoon on Daryl's side. Let's put up the play then. This is the plan for our second race today. We're taking Daryl Murray's bipot, and he is siding with Sweet Pepper as the banker. And you're banking, what are you banking at the back of your bipot, Daryl?
Clyde, that's race 7, number 7, Tarkanaut. I'm happy to bank him too.
Now we're going to Handicap, and the girls are racing up the straight, where number 6, Lady of Power, in the opening leg of the Place Accumulator's favourite, at 22 to 10 on Friday morning at 10 o'clock. For Aga Heat, second choice at 7 to 2, number 5, Silver Winter, 4 to 1, and number 3, On Cue, is 17 to 2. They are betting double figures about the others. PA time, Darren, will start right here now as to what's the first leg play look like. Can we bank a Lady of Power, a better run from her expected this time, or do we need to cover?
We need to cover Lady of Power. I'm quite surprised to see her favourite. Yes, she has a reputation. A bit disappointing last time out, returning after a bit of a break. I wouldn't surprise me to see her win because she is a lovely filly, but she shouldn't be 2-1. Aga Heat, the horse to beat, she won a really good race last time out, and she is drawn towards the outside in her favour. Silver Winter, when stepped up in trip, won a cracker last time out. And Mighty Goddess, this filly's a maiden, but she looks really well in, and I think she can feature quite strongly here.
You're finding it to be open. Daryl, what do you make of Lady of Power's last loss?
Put a line through that start, Clyde. She came out around the bend. She was wide. She was pulling. She's much better than that effort. You can actually just take a look at her in the flesh, and one would think to themselves that she certainly would have benefited from the time off because she's a big daughter of Master My Fate. She probably needed the time off to grow into her frame, and we certainly haven't seen the best of her yet. I thought the value lies with number 10, Permiso Avanti. I think she's a huge price. Have a look at her rating. She's come down from an 83 to a 70. Her last 2 runs have been in the sticky conditions. And if she's unable to be competitive with this rating, Clyde, she's going to have problems going forward. I think she's represents huge value, and I'd certainly suggest a small each-way nibble on number 10, Permiso Avanti.
Okay, well, that's 16-1. It's any price in this race. You've got to ask yourself what's going on with the Rockets' Red Glare as to why that hasn't come back to its form. Came out once upon a time, Rockets' Red Glare, and absolutely annihilated the field, and we haven't seen her again since. Hopefully she can find some of her form. All right, well, there's interesting racing. This third race, let's get to place accumulators. Put that up for us, guys, and have a look what we're going to do. We're going with Daryl's PA, and there are quite a few in the first leg of the place accumulator that he wants to make sure goes into the play here. So in the first leg, 5, 6, and 10, he's not giving out Permiso Avanti in anything. Then banker the 2, banker the 1, then 3, 5, 7, banker 7 by 1, 4, 7, 8, by 1, 2, 5, 8, and 9. That's a 180 Rand Christmas PA. Let's get to the Christmas Pick 6 now. This is the Tab Telebet Pinnacle Stakes. If you want to phone Tab, it's 0861 000 822. That's their number. It's run over 1,800 metres, and in this particular event, we're going to have a quick look at what the market is. So this Pinnacle Stakes is some decent horses running, particularly Red Saxon. He's back in the racing again. He comes out the Betway Summer Cup. I think there's been only one runner from there, a horse called Shango, who came out and won. So the form's been franked already, and he's the next horse to see come out of the Summer Cup. So Red Saxon favourite, 16-10, Darren, and he does seem to have the field's measure.
Close to a banker, Clyde. I did include second base into the pick 6 with Red Saxon, but I believe we can have a bet on Red Saxon. His comeback run in the Charity Mile was a very good effort. And last time out, the Summer Cup was his second run back, maybe just in need of the run. He was only 6 lengths off the speed. He's a grade 1 winner over course and distance, and I believe he should win. I backed him up with second base. He's very capable on his day.
Okay. Daryl, your views on Red Saxon?
Hard to beat, Clyde. I think this is the perfect opportunity for him to notch up his 3rd career victory. Can you believe he's only won 2 to date?
No, I can't. I can't believe that, actually. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, correct. Clyde, Darren touched on the fact that he won the Classic over this very course and distance. 3rd run off the rest. Joey Stables on song. So Munga will put him into the race, and he should prove very, very hard to beat. I think he's only got one danger in the best weighted horse in the race. That happens to be the filly. She's still a filly. Number 7, Perfect Witness. Now, she's 2 kilograms best in. She blows hot and cold, this filly. On her day, she can certainly give Rex Saxon a run for his money. Over the same very course and distance, she gave Puerto Manzano a run for. She only went down half a length in the Jubilee. So she is capable, and she's weighted to go close off 50.5 kilograms. So in order, 2 from 7.
Red Saxon Stables informed Joe Somers bringing them home one by one, which is great to see. And we're hoping Red Saxon can do the same for the Christmas Pick 6. Well, there's a few that Darren's put together on this Pick 6. Obviously, he wants to play it safe, but his intentions ultimately is that Red Saxon's the serious runner of the day. Let's have a look at it quickly. We'll put that Pick 6 up, and 2 and 3. There may be a two-way option, a play option for everybody, and then it does become rather difficult and rather challenging throughout the rest of the day. As you can see, it's hard, it's tough. We know Daryl Marie likes taking out later, so you may want to go lighter there. But that's pretty much the plan of what we intend to doing this Saturday afternoon. Race number 5, we get on to this now. 4 Racing wishes you a blessed festive season. It's a handicap at the 89 level over 1,800 metres. And in this race, the market's recommending Darren a two-horse race, Bonnet and Pragmatist, 1 and 2, one being 15 to 10, and Pragmatist being at 15 to 10. Then they're betting pretty much 10 to 1 bar 2. So from a market perspective, an absolute two-horse race.
Yes, Clyde, it looks that way, but I wouldn't ignore the chances of a horse called Midnight Crystal. They fitted the tongue tie onto her last time out, and she absolutely trotted home. She's only got 49 kilos to shoulder, but the horse to beat is Bonetta. Her saddle slipped last time out. That was a strong race, first time out the maidens, and she has a reputation. So I'd favour Bonetta over Pragmatist, but don't ignore Midnight Crystal.
Okay, well, that's an interesting one that you've got out of there, Midnight Crystal. Daryl, your take on it?
Clyde, on paper, it should certainly be a one-horse race in number 1, Bonette. Now, last time out in the Fillies Mile, she was out at the weights. Take a listen to this, Clyde. When she finished 5th, third in that race was Rock the Fox, rated 102. Fourth was Ferrari Gold, rated 101. Sixth was Bless My Stars, rated 103. She was sandwiched in between them, and she's off an 89. So she ran well above her rating. She's now back in her handicap. She had excuses on that occasion. Her dam obviously won the Oaks. She should be more effective over this trip. So on paper, Bonetta, very, very hard to beat. But she does have to give 2.5 kilograms to her male rival in number 2, Pragmatist. We saw that form line being franked with good counsel winning again. He's not a bad sort, but if Bonetta just builds on her latest effort, she'll take a power beating.
Power beating. I see you talking about ratings. River Corres was also behind there at 108. And we saw Kisu Azul come out and run second. They had beaten a short hair or a head or whatever to that best bet that you made on the card that day. All right, well, so is Bonetta the right one? Well, let's see what we're doing here. It's jackpots, the Christmas jackpots, and Darren's put one together for us. He likes a bit of Midnight Crystal as a shrewdie, so he's put that into the player and then loaded up the next 3 legs. That's the jackpot for Turffontein. Let's get straight into our feature of the day. This is the Secretariat Stakes, and it's attracted a very, very nice bunch of 3-year-old horses here going over the 1,400 metres. Giving our guide as to what the market is indicating on this Friday, they got 7 Tamara's Tree as favourites at 15 to 4, 8 Fostinova 11 to 2, 1 Raffles 7 to 1, 2 Jimmy Don 7s, 3 Meridius 7 to 1, 8 Star Coin 7 to 1, 4 Aravadicio 8 to 1, and a horse like Cantellan Bay, who's not out of it, I would imagine. Number 5 is at 10 to 1. They are betting 12 to 1 and better the others. Interesting field and lineup, Darren.
A very good field, Clyde. This horse, Tamarisk Tree, is a really smart sort. Last time out over the 1800 with the blinkers, he pulled too hard. And the drop back in trip's going to suit, but I would prefer him over slightly further. If it was a mile, I would make Tamarisk Tree very hard to beat. He's going to be on the back foot from the start, and he's going to make steady progress through the field. If he's going to get there in time, I'm not too sure. But dangers will be Jimmy Don. Now, Jimmy Don beat Toffus last time out, giving him 5.5 kilos. He's a really nice 3-year-old, and I think he's got a bright future. And then Cantellan Bay from a 1 draw, he could get the run of the race, and that form line was franked. He beat Fateful Day, and he came out to win his next start.
Yeah, it's interesting. The key, you may well be right here, Daryl. The key here could be the 1,400. May answer a lot of questions. What do you think?
Yeah, touching on the 1,400, Clyde, it's very surprising to see my good mate Andrew Fortune's horse Meridius in a 1,400 after he told me that this is a 10 furlong horse on Summer Cup Day, and he
That's
called
why.
me mad.
That's why they won
Anyway,
last time out. That's why they won last
yeah,
time out over the 1500. Yeah.
I wonder where the video is. Let's ask
Now
Teach
you'll
where the
take that.
video is.
You'll take that on the chin. He will.
Clyde Tamara's tree obviously was scratched midweek with this race in mind. Darren touched on the fact that he was over racing last time out. They go quick over the 1400, give him more of an opportunity to settle and finish his race off. Captain came out and ran second again, so he's one of the live wires over here. Ken Bay, now he scored 3 victories to date, all with Marco van Rensburger in the irons. Marco doesn't have a ride over here. He is riding on the day, and Chase Mojon gets the ride, so that's very interesting. He covered the most ground last time out, and he still fended them off. So he's well above average. Acorn is a horse that's better than his recent form. I think he's actually, I believe he's a nice type. And for 85, I wouldn't be surprised to see him run into the trifecta. So for me, a tricky event, but Tamara's Tree, the horse to beat 7, 3, 5, and 9, Clyde.
Yeah, what would be the reason that Marco's not? Any idea? I mean, that's very strange. Just out of curiosity.
Clyde, I've also noticed that there's a horse called Mkabisi that Marco doesn't get the ride on from that yard. So I'm not too sure.
Okay.
It's owned by the same owner. So
That's
maybe
unusual. All right.
something's up.
Well, okay, we'll check it out then. Right, this is what we're going to do in this race. There's another jackpot opportunity just as a matter of interest for our turf-fontein punters out there. Let's get that on. We'll have a look now at our slide for race number 6. This is the Secretariat, and Daryl has put this jackpot 2 together where he is taking his chances. He's banking this taken off as well. He obviously likes that a lot. That's the jackpot play. Have a look at those numbers, put them all in, and let's get this jackpot on. The next feature on the day is the Labello, and it's over 1,000 meters. The Labello Sprint. It's a Group 3 event. Some decent ones that come together again to make their presence felt. Market's got this horse top of the board at the moment, taken out at 3-1. Daryl's been quite big on taken out all day through watching his exotics and perms and that. Daryl, let's talk about the favourite and give us your reasons to why you make this hard to beat.
Yes, Clyde. Some of us were overseas when this horse won last time out, and
I believe
half
so.
an hour
So.
earlier, yeah, half an hour earlier, we saw a filly called Big Burn win. Now, Big Burn recorded 57.21, whereas Taikanaut 57.39. So that equates to about one length, right, Clyde? But take note of the fact that Taikanaut carried 6.5 kilograms more than what Big Burn did. So I thought that was super impressive in terms of the time he recorded. And based on that, I think he'll have all the Big Burn form line covered. So I make him very, very hard to beat. I thought he ran above his rating last time out when he beat Karangatang, who's a 102. He was out 1.5 kilograms with Karangatang. And I thought also that the fact that he was able to settle just behind the speed in his later start proved to me that he's not a tearaway type. So he's an improving sprinter and he's got more to offer. If there is one danger, I think Constable could prove his main rival. We heard Sean Terry on WSB Grand Heritage Day say that this is a prep run for Constable. So obviously he's been aimed at this race. So for me, 7 from 9, but I'm happy to bank number 7 in all bets, Taikanaut.
Okay, so you're big on Taikanaut. You've given us your valid reasons as to why. Darren, from your perspective?
I make Taikanaut one of the leading lights. I think he could be ahead of the handicapper with 52 kilos lightly raced. I've got a lot of respect for Miss Daisy. Now, she's a very smart filly. She didn't stay the mile last time out, but from 1,000 to 1,400, she's very capable against strong company. 52 kilos to shoulders. She's drawn hard up on the outside. I think she'll run an honest race. Vaz Vicky found his best form in his last start, and he's very capable on his day. Supreme Warrior returns after a long break. He is a very smart horse on his day. It all depends on his fitness, but Mike, as he gets them ready, and Constable of the rest.
Okay, let's take a look at what the pretensions are from our perspective then with this event. And it does appear that taken off to the right one, Daryl is quite persistent and insistent upon it that this will win. Race 8 on the card. Let's chat about it. Where we've got Flower Bomb 28-10, top of the boards. Number 8 on the card. 3 Sheldon 4-1. 5 Maringos at 11-2. Mercantor, the one horse, is 8-1, with 9 Boisterous trading at 8-1. And then you can get 9-1 and better about the rest of the field. This event, the 8th race, is a middle stakes over 1,000 meters. Darren, let me come back to you. Start with you, and you can summarize. Flower Bomb, the one to beat.
Clyde, I like this filly. Remember when? I think she's trading at 14-1 or 12-1. Keegan DeMella. Now he is taking a suspension from the 25th, so maybe this could be his last winner of the year. I think she's value. Her comeback run was a good second to Faraway Winter, and last time out in the Gardenia, we've seen that form line stand up really nicely. She's suited by this course and distance. I just think if given a patient ride, she's got a quick turn of foot. I think she could be the horse to beat. Dangers, horses like Flower Bomb, Mercantor, Marengo having his peak run. There are plenty of dangers which I included in the pick six, but a nice each way play. Remember when?
Yeah, it could well be a well spotted too. I see from the Gardenia, as you mentioned, the Lula Star was there. That came out and won. Pico, that won. Aga Heat, that came out and won. So there are quite a few winners from there. Quite a decent sort. 12-1 at the moment. Daryl, what do you make of it?
Clyde, I actually give her a chance. She was due to run in the same race that Sheldon won a few weeks ago, and she just didn't load. So hopefully they've reschooled her, and she's got her mind on the job. She goes in quietly and reserves that energy. We know on her day she's very, very good, and at her best, she probably will take some beating. But this isn't. She's certainly not taking on slouches over here, Clyde. I mean, Mercantor, the blinkers are off. He's back up the straight, 4 kilograms off his back. Flower Bomb, yeah, you got a filly that's at her best over 1,000 meters. We've seen that form line of her. Big Burn won indirectly. Alula Star came out and won their Magnolia. Ipico, Aga Heat. So, excuse me, Clyde, she certainly can't be excluded. Number 7, Set to Go. He was out at the weights last time out. Let's see how Taikonaut goes in the previous race. His tongue tie gets fitted for the first time. We know he's got ability. So for me, a tricky event. This is probably the race of the day to watch. I think it's very, very competitive.
Okay, so a competitive race, but perhaps there is a bit of value to be had in this particular event from, as you heard from Darren Burrows, a Trudy Remember When. Let's take a look at what we're doing here now, the 8th race, with one more to go after this. We're doing this on Friday, by the way, at 10 o'clock, and Darren says it's an each way investment here. Number 4, Remember When. Race number 9 on the card. Our next Turffontein race meeting will be on Monday, the 2nd of January. Can you believe it? We'll be back in 2023 when we're back at Turffontein again. And this particular event, the Handicap fillies and mares. So, in the beginning, is top of the boards at 4-1. Favourite for the Joe Soma stable at 10 o'clock. 2 second breath at 4-1 joints for Robin Klaassen. 5 Miss Little Bags trading at 6-1. And then the other one in the market, that's for Ash Fortune. And then for the Mowing stable, there she goes, number 8, is trading at 13-2. 14-1 bar those 4. But I would imagine, Darren Burrows, let me come to you first. A trickier race and maybe a quartet opportunity to get some pick six money, Christmas money. What do you think?
Yes, this horse, there she goes. She found a bit of traffic problems going through the 400, and when switched out for a run, she absolutely took off and won going away by 3.5 lengths. The only problem is she's drawn 2, and towards the inside, I don't favor the inside draws at Turffontein up the straight. Dangers, horses like In the Beginning, beat Mighty Goddess on debut. She's got the 61 to shoulder, but she could be anything. The outsider for the race to include is Quasi's Lady. Her rating's right down to a 66, and the blinkers go on Alec Led's runner. Of the rest, Lil Miss Muddy Bags.
Okay. Interesting in the beginning, Daryl talked about her. I see the form line is, when she won that form line so far has been really good with Let's Cruise one. Sea Anemone came out of there and won. Mighty Goddess, as Darren made reference to, only got beat a half a length. So just how good is in the beginning? I mean, there must be more scope to come from here?
Absolutely, Clyde. I thought she recorded a cozy victory, but look at what price she jumped on that occasion on debut, 33-1. I don't believe the connections were expecting a win from her, so one has to believe she's come on in leaps and bounds since then. She is giving weight all round, so it's not going to be an easy task for her in her second start. Number 2, Second Breath. I thought she won an extremely good race in open company last time out. Pinch It is no slouch, coming in hot. They've both come out to place from there. She's drawn on the right side. That stable's in good form. She could go back to back. But I'm in Darren's camp over here. I think the value certainly has to be with number 9, Quasi's Lady. Now, Clyde, go back in her form line. She's beaten Marigold Hotel. She's run against Heaven's Girl, Desert Miracle, Bold Act. Admittedly, she's lost the plot, but she's starting to show some form of life again. Her rating's down to 66 from an 83, and what's key is the blinkers go on. I hope that could bring her back to her best. And at 20-1, she's certainly overpriced.
Yeah, she's a big price, I see, as Quasi's Lady number 9, 20-1 from the boys. They're both on to that, perhaps with maybe having a bit of a nibble then if that is the case. But in the beginning does seem to have a lot of scope and did win impressively first time. Okay, guys,
Sorry,
well,
Clyde.
let's have a look at what's our play. Yeah.
One last thing. Do you recall who won the last race? I think it was on Tuesday or Thursday. That very same combination, Alec Laird and Randall Simons on a filly called Quantum.
Yes. But are you as big on Quasi's Lady as you are on Quantum? Or as you were on Quantum?
No, this is an open event, Clyde, but I think at 20-1, you certainly can't get hurt.
No, you can't. Absolutely not. But you guys have had a great one. Thank you so much for your time. Let's have a look at what we're doing. We put the last race slide up, and this is the plan from the boys, and it is an intentional exacta with those numbers that are currently on the screen. So from the Weighted to Win team, Merry Christmas, everyone. No racing Christmas Day, Sunday. We'll be back in action again on Monday. Thank you so much for watching. All the very best.